guys, so today I'm going to be demonstrating the French toast recipe that you're going to be doing in class tomorrow. As I'm going through this recipe today, I'm going to show you some time management techniques so that you can save some extra time in your food lab, and that will give you more time at the end of the period to eat your food. So the first thing I want you to do once your hands are clean and you're ready to cook is to fill up your sink with hot soapy water. So I've done this already. I put the plug in the bottom of the sink. I filled it up with hot water and about a tablespoon of Dawn dish soap, and that's all ready for me. Looking at your recipe, we're going to be following the French toast recipe that's at the bottom half of that page. This serves 4 people, so we're going to cut this recipe in half for you tomorrow. So instead of using 2 eggs, I want you to change that in your cookbook to 1 egg. Instead of using half a cup of milk, we're going to change that to 1/4 cup. We're going to leave the dash of cinnamon alone. Instead of 2 tablespoons of butter or margarine, we're going to change that to 1. And then instead of 4 slices of bread, we'll use 2. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is start with step number 2 in your cookbook. So it says to melt the butter and the margarine in a frying pan on medium to low heat. So take your stick of butter, and we're going to use 1 tablespoon. So I'm going to look at my lines on the butter, and I'm going to cut off at that first line. So I'm going to cut off 1 tablespoon with a butter knife, and I'm going to put this in my skillet. Unwrap the butter, that's important. Okay, and then I'm going to be putting my skillet on the largest burner. Okay, so you'll see that there are different size burners here. I want you to put your skillet on the largest burner, and my pan handle is pointed towards the side. So I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to go medium to low. Okay, as that's melting, then I can go back up to step number 1 where it says beat the egg in a bowl with a fork. So I'm going to take my 1 egg, I'm going to crack it into the custard cup to check it. Then I'm going to add this to my mixing bowl. Next, I'm going to be adding my 1/4 cup of milk. So using a liquid measuring cup, I'm going to pour this in till I get to the 1/4 cup line. Bend down, look at it at eye level. Okay, so next I'm going to add this to my mixing bowl with the egg. And I'm going to beat this together with a fork. And I'm going to add just a little bit of cinnamon. So it's a dash of cinnamon. So with my cinnamon, I'm going to put it on the shaker side, and I'm just going to do a couple of shakes of cinnamon. I'm eyeballing that ingredient, and I'll beat this all together. Okay, so now my egg mixture is all ready. I'm just waiting for my butter to melt. So with my spatula, I'm just going to kind of move this butter around the pan to get it so that it will melt. Okay, and this is going to make it so that your French toast does not stick to your skillet as you're cooking it. Okay. Okay, so while that's melting, I'm going to put a glove on my hand, and I'm going to be dipping this bread into the egg mixture with my hand. You don't want to use a fork because it will break or tear your bread. Notice that I'm doing it right next to the stove. Okay, so that you're not dripping the egg mixture all over the place. So if you notice, we're now going on to step number 3 in your cookbook. So as soon as this butter has melted in the skillet, I'm going to go ahead and do that step number 3. Okay, I just turned up my heat a little bit so that it's on medium. Okay, we're just about ready. Okay, so I've already counted out my slices of bread, and you're going to want to dip this very quickly. The longer you let it sit in this egg mixture, the more you're going to have it soak up the egg mixture, and it's going to take a really long time to cook, even if it might not cook all the way through it at all. So make sure that you're doing this pretty quickly. Okay, so I think I'm ready to start dipping. So I'm going to put this in the egg mixture, quickly coat it, making sure the egg mixture is covering all parts of the bread, and then I'm setting it gently in the center of the skillet. Okay. So now I can throw away my glove. I'm done with this. Okay, and now if you look at your cookbook, it tells you that we're placing it in the hot skillet, and we're going to cook till golden brown at least 4 minutes. So while this is sitting and while this is cooking for the first 4 minutes, then you can start doing some of your cleanup. So I'm gonna throw my eggshell in the garbage. I'm gonna put this in my hot soapy water. I'm gonna add my liquid measuring cup to the hot soapy water. This egg mixture, you can dump down the drain and just rinse this out in your sink, and then you can do as much of the cleanup as you possibly can. Okay, so I'm gonna start washing these dishes. Still, I'm keeping an eye on my French toast, making sure that it's cooking okay, and then I'll check it in a few minutes. So I'm gonna let these dishes sit in the dish rack for a little bit, and I can finish drying those a little bit later. So I'm gonna check on this French toast, and I don't think it's ready to flip yet. Okay, no, it's not golden brown. See how I just lifted this a little bit so that I can peek underneath it? Still not ready, so I'm gonna let this cook for a little bit longer before I flip this over. And notice that the French toast is in the center of your pan. That's where your heat is. So you want to keep your French toast towards the center. Okay, while we're doing that, I'll keep cleaning up my stuff here. Milk goes back in the fridge, and the butter goes back in the fridge. Okay, while you're waiting, I will be passing out your sausage to you. You're going to get 2 links per person if you want it. And while we are cooking the French toast, once we flip this over, we're gonna pop this in the microwave. So if you have some extra time, you could get a paper towel, just a brown paper towel from the sink area, lay it down on your plate, and I will be around to pass out your sausage to you. So you can just have that ready. Still not quite ready to flip. Turn this up a little bit. I'm starting to see that it's sizzling on the bottom, so I'm just going to check this on the other side again. getting close, but it's still not exactly golden brown. Getting there. And you're gonna have to be patient while this is cooking. If you flip it too much, you're gonna end up tearing your bread and it's gonna take longer to cook. So try not to flip it before it's ready. Now I'm seeing it's golden brown, so I'm going to turn this over, and now I'm going to cook the other side. Okay, see how you can see how it's a little bit golden brown there. Okay, so again, I'm pushing this towards the center of the stove. Usually when you flip it over, it says that it cooks for 4 more minutes, but usually it's a lot faster. So now I'm going to cook my sausage. I'm going to just wrap this up in the paper towel. I have it on the plate. And I'm going to pop this in the microwave for 30 seconds. So cook time 30 and start. At this point, all of my dishes are clean. I'm just waiting for this to cook. And then I can finish doing my dishes after I eat. Okay, see how it's already starting to brown up nicely on the other side. So we're just about done. So when I take this out of the microwave, I'm just gonna touch this through the paper towel, and I can feel that it is pretty hot and it's cooked through. So I'll just shake these out onto the plate. This paper towel can get thrown away, and my French toast looks like it's done. It's golden brown on both sides. Okay, so I'm gonna take these off the skillet, put it on the plate, and now I'm gonna I turned off my burner, and I'm gonna move this skillet to a burner that I haven't been using. So I'm gonna put this in the back. I'm gonna let that cool down. So at this point, this is what it looks like. You can go ahead and sit down and eat, and when you're finished, you can come back to your kitchen area, make sure everything is wiped down, then you will wash your skillet, then you will wash your spatula and your plate that you use to eat off of. When you're done, I'll check your area, okay?